again. I'm Gwen Lawrence, and thanks for joining me at PowerYogaForSports.com. Today we're going to talk about frozen shoulder. And like I said before, I'm not going to get into big detail about what frozen shoulder is, how you get it, what the symptoms are. You can go to PowerYogaForSports.com and bring up my article and read all about it. What I'm going to do is just clarify how to do the poses to help alleviate the symptoms or prevent you from even getting it that are listed in that article. There's a lot of them, so what I want you to do is not get overwhelmed and think, oh my God, I got to do 12, 15 poses a day for this. It's too overwhelming. I can't do it. You can try to do all of them if you want. You can pick and choose and do 3 different ones every day so you can knock down the time a little bit. But I'm giving you all these choices so that you can open up the shoulder in all different directions. All right, so let's get started. Very easy first. You're going to come to seated. Easy cross leg. Again, not always easy for some people. I shouldn't say that. But if it's not, and if you find yourself looking a little bit more like this, then maybe you want to sit on a yoga block or a bunch of pillows or rolled up blanket. Because if your hips are higher than your heels, it's going to be easier for you to get that length in your spine. You want that length in your spine because we're warming up the spine initially. We want to build strength in the front and back of the spine to protect the shoulder, and you can't get the best twist if you're all hunched over. Okay, so you're going to come here, you're going to take a deep breath in, you're going to bring the arms down to a 90-degree angle, and you're just going to twist. That's it. You might get a couple nice back cracks. That's all there is to it. Elbows as high as the shoulder, lower arm extends from the elbow, fingers pop. Okay, you could do it with your eyes closed. If you don't get dizzy, you could spot a head. You want to get deeper and deeper. You want to do this from 1 to 3 minutes to warm up the spine and just sync the breath with your movement. The next one in the same position is arm ups. We're also warming up the shoulder in a different angle. And let me just make a quick comment that if you already have frozen shoulder, some of these might be difficult for you. So you're going to have to make adjustments accordingly, and the more you do it, the closer you're going to come to looking like the final product. So maybe in the beginning, you have to twist like this if you're in the middle of an acute stage of frozen shoulder. Or maybe you have to be out here like that. Just make, minor changes to adjust to how you're feeling until you can improve and be doing full expression of the pose. Next one is arms are down by your side. Again, we're trying to link the breath with the movement, warming up that shoulder girdle. Okay? Shoulder joint, shoulder girdle. Arms are down. You're going to take a deep breath in. Arms are going to come up. Palms face up, arms come down, palms face down. Continue like that. You can go with a quick breath. Hear my shoulder cracking, needs a little warming up. Or you can go very slow and deliberate. It's up to you. Okay? So again, 1 to 3 minutes of that though. We want to make sure you're really warmed up, building strength in that spine. Okay, and the last one of these warm-ups is opposite arm, opposite leg. So we're going to get a little hip in there too. It's just a bonus. Everybody could use a little hamstring opening, I think. So you're going to lay down onto your back, arms are overhead, palms stretch out, relax your head, and you're going to come up. Left leg, right arm, release it, right leg, left arm, release, and continue like that. I want you to press your lower back into the ground so you're engaging your abdominals. Arms are completely over your head. Big range of motion. Relax your head. Don't lift your head up. In a perfect world, our fingertips are touching our toe tips. That might not happen for years, okay? So don't worry about it. You might be just able to touch your kneecaps. And yes, your arms are long enough, okay? It's just that you have to open up your hamstrings more. All right? So opposite arm, opposite leg. 1 to 3 minutes, syncing the breath with the movement. The breath will just happen as long as you're noticing it and you're not holding it. And that also is going to warm up the shoulder. And again, instead of your arms being straight up to the sky, if you're in an acute stage, maybe you're going to bring yourself out like this a little bit more. Or maybe you're just going to have to go a little bit with bent elbows until you're a little bit more open and able to do the exercise as it's intended. All right, so now we're going to move to the wrists. It seems weird. Why do I have to open up the wrist if my shoulder's frozen? But what happens is if you have limited mobility in your shoulder, it's going to affect everything from there on down because you're going to be using everything quite differently if you don't have a big range of motion here. It might even make your wrists really tight, your elbows really tight, and subsequently even your hips will start changing. Believe it or not, you are a whole being and not just one joint at a time. So we're going to open up the wrists. You're going to come into table pose, which is onto your hands and knees. All right? Hands are shoulder width apart, palms flat, fingers spread. You've heard it before. You will hear it again from me. Equal space between each finger. And some of you are going to have an even hard enough time being here, right? You want to make sure you're not hyperextending the elbow, which would look more like this. You don't want to do that. You want a nice neutral elbow. And 90-degree angle in your wrist joint. Push the floor away. You could stay here. If you can, I want you to turn your wrists out side to side. So your wrist is still a 90-degree angle. It's still directly under your shoulder. You just twisted it a little bit, okay? And this alone might be enough of a stretch for you. If it's not, you're going to gently lean to the right until you feel it, pushing the floor away, extending, not sinking in, collapsing. You want to really elongate. You want to work your whole body all the time. And then shifting to the other side. You can do it 2 or 3 times on each side, maybe 5 or 6 breaths. Okay, and that's the first one. You'll come out of it, you maybe twist the wrists out a little bit, shake them out. If you have tight wrists, you're going to feel this one. Onto your hands and knees. Fingers turn all the way around now, so your fingertips touch your kneecaps. Again, palms flat, fingers spread. This might be enough of a stretch for you. Not sinking in, collapsing, extending, and being nice and long. If you can go a little bit deeper here, walk your wrists out little by little until they're right under your shoulders in 90 degrees. Push the floor away, hold it there, a few breaths. You're going to feel it's going to open up the whole, not only the wrist joint, not only the bottom of the hand, the palm of the hand and the fingers, but you're going to feel it in the forearms too. It's really, this really nice itchy stretch. Okay? Again, don't get overwhelmed. Oh my God, I got to do all these poses. 1, 2, 3 a day is amazing, is great, and in time you'll feel better and better. Frozen shoulder does take a little while to heal, so don't think 2 weeks you're going to be good. It could take a good 6 months of hard work, okay? So onto your hands and knees, and hands are shoulder width apart, palms flat, fingers spread. Tuck your toes under, feet parallel, hips width apart. Downward facing dog again. Press it up. Most common pose, I think everybody's heard of downward dog. This time, instead of focusing on the lower body, we're pushing the floor away and we're focusing on opening the whole arm and the whole shoulder joint. So you can rock from left to right. You can bend the knees and press and bend and press and feel that nice opening. Stage 2 of this is to come onto your hands and knees. It's called dolphin pose. Measure out your elbows, wrap your fingers around your elbows. Bring your hands into a loose grip. I see too many white knuckles doing this. So your arms, your forearms will look like a triangle, and then come up into a downward dog. This is called dolphin pose. So now you don't have the leverage and the length of your arms. Now you're just working the arms from the elbow up, the shoulder from the elbow up, and it really gets into that joint deep. If you're in an acute stage of frozen shoulder, this might be a little difficult for you. Take your time, do a couple of the other poses. When you start to feel a little bit better, maybe you can try dolphin pose. Okay? Now, the good stuff. You're going to sit. You can sit in easy cross leg again, on a block or on a towel. And all you're going to do is bring your arms behind you and grab opposite elbow. Seems easy enough, but again, it's a little bit of a difficult move. You want to wrap the fingers around your elbows as best you can. In the beginning, you might only be able to grab wrists. That's fine. From the back, that's what we look like. And it's very subtle. You're going to set a timer, maybe sit in front of a clock, and do this pose for 1 to 3 minutes where you're just looking at the shoulders, bringing them up, rolling them back, dropping them down, and really trying to open the front of the shoulder, the anterior deltoid, right? And if you want, you can switch your grip and do it for another 1 to 3 minutes, okay? Chances are you don't have frozen shoulder on both sides at the same time, but you want to treat both shoulders the same so that you don't end up getting it in the good shoulder down the road, okay? Then let it go. Coming out of it could be a little bit taxing, a little bit difficult. Now you're going to take a strap, exercise band, jump rope, piece of rope, anything you can, towel. You're going to put it in your right hand. You're going to bring the arm up to the sky behind your back. So this is arms associated with the pose, happy cow. So if you hear happy cow arms, this is what they're talking about. Left arm's going to come around and up and grabs the strap. So from behind, it looks like this. Eventually, you want to be able to grip. Okay? I have people in my classes that have amazingly open shoulders and can clasp like that behind their back. It just blows my mind. But what you want to do is stay there, breathe into the stretch, give yourself time to open up into the stretch. The biggest mistake is people do quick little holds for 30 seconds. And I don't know why. I'm doing my stretches every day and nothing ever gets better. It's not going to get better if you just do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You need to hold it. You need to breathe into it. You need to exhaust the muscles so that they eventually just let go. Long, deep holds work the best. They do take a lot of mental toughness, a lot of commitment, but you're going to see much quicker improvement if you do give yourself time to hold them. All right, so that one you're going to hold 1 to 3 minutes too. Then you're going to do the other side. It opens up the front of the shoulder. It's pretty deep. It's pretty intense. Do the best you can. These are a little bit weird to explain, a little bit hard to explain. You probably won't see these in many yoga books, so they don't have a specific name. But I'm going to do the best I can to explain it to you. On your back, knees bent, feet flat. Okay? Now, you're going to roll to the right a little bit, and you're going to take your left arm, bend it, and put your left palm under your back, palm face down. Okay? Then you roll back onto your back. Okay? Now, what you want is your wrist just under your back. You don't want your wrist to stick out from under your back, because then all the stretch is going to come out in the wrist. You're not going to feel anything here. So you want your wrist under your back, but not all the way across, okay? It's very subtle. They almost look like a shape of a 4. And then you might feel enough here, especially if you're really in a bad way. Right in the front of the shoulder, pretty intense. This is great for my tennis players as well. If you feel enough, just hang out here for your 1 to 3 minutes. If you want to go further, drop your left leg towards your left arm. If you want to go further, drop the right leg towards the left arm. Okay? You'll start to feel it all in here. If you want to go further, arm comes up and you start rolling onto that left side, and I guarantee you, you're going to feel something. Okay? You want to keep remembering that hand underneath you is flat and extended. Come out of it nice and slow. Let the arm out. Give it some rebound time, and try the other side. Next one we're going to do is face down. Okay, so the key part of this pose is making sure when you bring your arm out, it's not out of your shoulder joint, that your hand is directly in line with your eyes. So your hand is up a little further than you think it would be. It's not up here. It's not down here. It's right in line with your eyes. Okay? Then you're going to turn your head the other way. I'm explaining it to you, so I'm not turning my head till the very end. Your left hand's going to be under your left shoulder, palm flat. Bend your left leg. Push into that hand and start to roll onto your side. Try to plant that foot. Okay? And then hold it there. All right? Ultimately, you want to roll over, try to get both knees bent, both feet flat, and your butt flat to the floor. I'll show you a little bit. So you're here, here, here. And then come out. And And that's it. So again, pick 2 or 3 to do a day. Do them all if you can, if you have time, and watch your shoulder open. Do it before you get frozen shoulder. Okay, every athlete I know could benefit from opening the shoulders and having more range of motion there. It frees up the neck. It helps open the back. Just give it a try. They're very fun. Thanks for joining us. And again, if you want to read the article, go to poweryogaforsports.com.